Hey guys, welcome back to the layout. So today I've got another how I video for you. We're finally going to be setting up my programming track. Basically we're going to be taking a yard spur and we're going to be connecting it to a double pole double throw switch. One side of that switch will go to my live yard bus and the other will go to my programming terminals. This means I can drive the train in, flip the switch, program it, flip the switch back, and drive it out with the new settings. I'm going to show you how to wire it, and then at the end we're going to test it by remoting into my server off my cell phone and opening up the JMRI interface using the PR3 and basically just read some info off of one of my locomotives, write maybe a different address, and then make sure it works. That way we get both the read and write. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so I've laid everything out in a representation of how I'm going to wire it. I went ahead and I've soldered, cut, tinned all the wires that need to be tinned, kind of gotten everything together that needs to be done just to save some time. It's all the exact same process I did in my last video. So if you're not sure, you have any questions on how I did this to this point, go ahead and watch my last how I video. So let's go ahead and get going. These two wires, the red and black, as you may remember, are my bus and feeder wires. So I will be using my yard bus in this case because my spur that I'm going to be using is in my yard. So I'm going to run this off my yard bus. That way down the road when I do finally wire up my PM42 as a circuit breaker, if somebody shorts in the yard, it will also go off. But regardless, so the red and black is my live wire. The blue and gray will be my programming colors. So basically kind of match it up, blue to red, gray to black, just to kind of keep things in the same color scheme, I guess you could call it. Colors versus shades or what have you. But basically the red and black will come off my yard bus. This will come off my DCS 100 programming track terminals. Both of these will come to this two-set terminal block, and just to kind of keep everything organized, easy to troubleshoot. You know me, I love my terminal blocks. So from the terminal block, two more sets, exactly the same, that will feed my double pole double throw switch. Now I will explain how this works in a little while, so just hold tight for that. But basically, those are the inputs to my double throw double pole switch, okay? Then it comes to the output, which is just a single set of wires, to a terminal strip, again, just to have everything nice and easy to troubleshoot, kind of set up, keep it nice and tidy. And then we have my feeders. So if I can verify those have the rail joiners on them, awesome. So last but definitely not least, one of the more important things is insulated rail joiners. So these are just the plastic ones. You know, some people manually gap theirs, that's fine. However you want to do it, you just want to really make sure that the rails don't touch programming plus live. You know, you really don't want that to touch because bad things happen. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in my feeders and put on my rail insulators because it's really good practice to put on your insulating rail joiners first thing. That way, you know, right off the bat, I don't forget and everything is safe. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that now. Okay, so here I am. I've already disconnected my track and drilled the holes. Again, same process. Now I went ahead and I put on my insulating rail joiners. Okay, so that's going to come right off the turnout right there, and then I'm going to have my feeders right into there. So I'm going to keep it the exact same scheme as my live, whereas, like I said, because blue matches red, that means that blue goes in on the inside. Okay, I don't have any reversing loops or any funny business, so, and we have gray on the outside. Okay, so again, really important to keep these kind of the same and consistent throughout your entire layout. Makes it really easy So many less headaches if you're trying to troubleshoot, or you know, you're trying to add anything, stuff like that. So that's perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead. I just have a little track pin. It's not glued down or anything, so I just have a little track pin. I'm just going to I'm just gonna put in the back here. Kind of keep everything good to go. Okay, so that's all we've got for here. I'm gonna go ahead and start wiring up the double pull double throw switch and show you how I do that. Okay, so here we are. Got my double pull double throw switch, and really quickly, basically you've got 3 sets of terminals on the back, and they can be whether you want input or output. It doesn't really matter. It just matters that they make an electrical connection. So what happens is you've got 3 kind of locations for the switch to be, 3 stages. You have on, which we'll call down, okay? You have off, which is middle, and you have on again, which is up. So you can see it comes with this little little faceplate here. I went ahead and I accidentally bent it because they're pretty flimsy, but no big deal. Okay, so what that does is basically, it's kind of like a manual transmission. Think of it where when you press it down, this kind of switch comes back straight, and it makes a connection between the middle, and in this case, because the switch is down, the middle and the top terminals, and the bottom stays isolated. So, you know, it follows that straight line going this way and kind of touches both of these at the same time. When it's all in the off position, you know, again, go straight through. It's touching only the middle terminal, which is completely isolated from the other 2. And when it's up, the top is completely isolated and the middle and bottom terminals are then connected. So how I'm going to do it in my example is the middle is going to be to the track, the actual rails, and basically when I flick down, I'm going to have my live operation. So that means that on the top terminals I'll have my red and black wires going to my yard bus, okay? And when it's up, it will go to the bottom terminals, which will be my programming track to my DCS 100. Okay? Pretty simple once you kind of understand it. Seems a lot confusing. There's a bunch of stuff on the internet that's really confusing. So when you kind of sit down and really just look at what it is and how it works, really kind of makes it simple. So I'm going to go ahead and wire this up off camera, and then kind of come back when it's all wired just to show you again, go through really quickly to make sure you guys understand it, and then we'll get a hole drilled and put this in and wire everything up. Okay guys, so I got it all wired up, as you can see, gray and black on one side and blue and red on the other, just to keep it all organized visually. So like I said, the middle is going to be the output. When it is down, it's going to be live, as you can see the red and black wire. And when it is down, it's going to be to the programming track. Now, technically, there are 2 poles in here, so each side is its own switch. But I'm just going to be using it as a set, which works perfectly. So let's go ahead and get that hole drilled and connect it up to some terminal blocks. Alright, so I got my hole drilled. My 1x3 frame is too thick, so I used just a leftover wood shim. You can see I've already marked P and L for programming and live. Alright, which means I have to make sure that my live switch is at the bottom. So all we're gonna do is kind of come back here and stick it through. Okay, we're gonna have a washer. And we're going to have one of the hex nuts, if I can get it on, oh dear, straight there. There we go. Now I'm just going to use some needle nose pliers to straighten it up. Or tighten it. When I say straighten it. Oops. There we go. That's not going anywhere. Now I'm gonna put this back on just cause, but you really wouldn't have to. And then just the second hex nut. And again, I'm having enormous difficulties. It's just what that kind of day. Oh. There. So, perfect. So let's go ahead and get onto the layout and finish up the wiring. Alright, so we're under the layout now. You can see I've got my double pull, double throw switch here with all the wires cascading down onto me. So let's go ahead and get the terminal blocks started. I'm going to take the output, which is the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and get the terminal blocks. So now this is the exact same as what I did in the last video. Simply just kind of color matching, going into terminals, going out of terminals. So fun. That's nice and snug. Terminal 1, which is going to go up to the feeders. Now we have our live. We'll go ahead and put that. Sorry guys. It's black. You can't see because of my big friggin' thumb. And so this will be the live input, and I will be taking this from my yard bus. Perfect. And I'm going to also take you know what, I think it's gonna be a ham shamble either way, so I might as well just go around it. There we go. And again, keeping that same black, red, gray, blue kind of thing, because gray equals black kind of thing. Just to keep it neat and tidy in my own mind, you know. I'll make sure that's good. The cats want to help. Okay. Terminal blocks on this side are done. So, next side, let's go ahead and sorry. And we're just going to, oh, that big wire is in the way. Can I hang that? There we go. Cool. I can. So, I'd be very surprised if nobody actually knows what this is, but that's my DCS 100. You can see the programming A and programming B. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, will this fit? Yeah, oh, totally. Okay. And don't forget you've got that ground in the middle, so you gotta kind of skip. So it really doesn't matter. Pro B will be gray, it looks like. If I can get my screwdriver in there. Now you can actually take this little plastic thing off and work on it, but I don't really find that terribly necessary right now. Extra wear and tear that I don't need to put on. I'm just going to loosen this one a smidge. Okay, that's in. I know. They really want to help me. There. So, perfect. So, programming truck is in. Next, if I bring you all the way, oh, let's zoom out. Ooh, that's in. All the way out. Spin you around ever so lovely. Now, I'm actually loosening. Here we go. So, this is just my temporary split until I actually wire up my Digitrax PM42 for circuit breaker control. But I've showed you this in my last video as well. This with the already one wire missing is my yard. It's my yard. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add one in there. Okay. So we're going to bring you around. Let's go there because that's a nice little spot. Because we're gonna be putting the terminal blocks up here. Okay. So output terminal block from the double pull double throw switch can be connected to the feeders up to the track at this. Ooh, there goes me not holding stuff again. That's gonna happen again. The problem is I don't have 3 hands. Then again, if I had 3 hands, it'd be handy but creepy. So, you know, I guess it's a trade-off, right? I guess that's like a would you rather question, you know? Would you rather have 3 hands or, you know, have a pocket full of bees? I don't know. Okay, so that's nice and connected. Now we have our inputs. So let's go ahead and, like I said, this is like simple. Blue goes with blue, gray goes with gray, and if I screw this up, that's a bad sign. So let's see if I can get the shot. Probably can't. Probably, because I'm trying to get the shot for you guys. I'll probably fail terribly. Take me twice as long to do this. Oh, I somehow did it first try. Sweet. Okay, and now for the yard bus. Red and red. And black, and that's pretty much it. We're just gonna then attach the terminal blocks to the underside of the layout to keep everything kind of clean. I have been using some clips and it has helped tremendously with keeping things clean. I think you can probably see all up here, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go get another screwdriver. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these up off camera and meet you on the top of the layout. Okay guys, testing time. Everything's wired. I've got my switch in the live position, and what we're gonna do is I've got the RDP to my server where my PR3 is set up to on my phone, so I'm going to drive the train in. We're going to see if we can identify it, because I've already added some locomotives to my roster, and that's pretty much it. So we're just going to go ahead, and that is backwards, so we're going to go ahead and use this Bachmann in case anything terrible goes wrong. So it kind of ungracefully crawls into the setting. Okay. So it's in there, off. I am in the programming mode, okay? So now if I give it any signal, nothing happens, okay? So I've got this client here, and this is not a public server, so you can see my private IP, alright? And basically you can see the roster there, and I've got the 503, which is what we've got, okay? I haven't really filled in any info yet just because it's a test, but what we're going to do is we're just going to hit identify. Okay. And you can see it is looking for the long address. We can hear the decoder sending small jerk signals. Whoop. And it should highlight that in blue once we're done. It takes a little longer, the Bachmann. Sorry for the shaky screen. There we go. So that's it. So it worked. And we can see here it is programmer status done. So that's great. In fact, what we can do is we can bring the mouse over. Whoop. And it's of course not going to focus in now. There we go. We're going to go into basic. And let's just change this to 5003 or 4. It is 3. Okay, so you can see 5004. Right changes. Okay. So it went ahead and writ those successfully. And now back to live. So you can see now 5003 does not work. 5004. And that's it. So everything looks like it's good to go. I will certainly have to try changing some CVs for this locomotive, make it run a little better. I still have to change the decoder in it, so I'm in no big rush for that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. If you have any questions, comments, criticism, please comment down below. And if you're not already, feel free to subscribe for more videos. That's pretty much it for this one. So until next time, guys, enjoy your bacon.